We just got back from vacation. You can see the motorhome in the back. Today is July 2nd. Believe it or not, I'm still pulling out brassicas, and I'm going to show you that right now because we're getting ready for fall seeding and planting. And so that's what we're going to do next. And I thought I'd take you along and see how the garden looks after a week of vacation. No weeding or anything else was done. It was a lot for the girls to actually take care of just the watering. But we're gonna pull the harvest, see how that looks, and get ready for fall. I'm making a quick stop into the greenhouse because we did some early spring planting here. And so you can kind of see the tomatoes have taken off as well as our cucumbers. We will not space it this way again. It's our first time planting the greenhouse this year. It looks beautiful, but it's very hard to actually manage. And so I'm gonna go ahead and pick the cucumbers. And by the way, hi, I'm Kimberly and I'm at Titan Acres. Ray's around here scrambling, getting some tools ready for me to help me out with the day. So those are the cucumbers that we planted in spring. Our summer ones are still to come in. So this is going to be a nice abundance to actually be able to play with and eat fresh throughout the whole summer. So I really like the fact of starting it early for a few plants in here. We can already start eating our cucumbers, and then our main harvest can come in and we'll continue eating them fresh and pickle. So Ray is trying to teach me how to actually do the switch out of the knife so he doesn't have to do it for me each time, which I appreciate. So what do you got?
So you see how there's a thing there? There's a slit right there?
Okay.
The blades come out of there, so just make sure it's pushed against that, and you just
kind of like a stapler.
Yeah.
Okay. Pull it, nice.
And then you just come in, and it fits in this way. You see this little thing?
Okay.
You push this down.
Okay.
And just have it go in.
Lock it into the notch. Did it lock in?
Lock in now.
Okay, and it just snaps in?
Yeah.
Are you pressing the button?
You press it in.
Okay, I got that.
Press in and then just like that. You just have to play with it a little bit, and then.
Okay. Sharp blade.
Sharp blade. Remember, you have both sides of it, so you can flip it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Thank you.
My pleasure. I'm here for you.
So to do our harvest, I used to take a couple of these buckets, and it just became way too much work. So I just hooked up our trailer to our quad. That's the easiest way to harvest these rows. Pretty much this whole first row, I've already gotten all the broccoli. I just kept the leaves so we could do stir fries. But there's only 2 more heads in that one that are left. I'm gonna harvest it, go ahead and pull everything out, give the chickens and the compost the remaining leaves, and then we're gonna mend it. So in a few weeks, we're gonna put in another round for our fall garden of brassicas. In this row, I think we had about 46 broccoli. Same thing here. The third row is cauliflower, and then the last row, we have not harvested anything, and that's all our cabbages. So we're gonna have to see how that did. I have these little white clips that I put on the hoops, and that helps actually keep the wind from picking it up. The other big thing is just nice and easy. I tie the ends, and those typically do it. And if I was home the whole time, that's all I would use primarily, unless if I know it's going to be a really windy day. And then I'm kind of lazy. I just throw them at the top or bottom of the hoops. So when I need to take them on and off, if I know it's going to be a cool day, I take off this shelter or heat shade. And this one right here is about a 50% shade cloth. The other 3 are 40%. And I really can't tell the difference they both worked. So I think you could go with either. But I can tell you they definitely saved my crop from the heat, and I got quite a bit of a harvest. So that was really cool. I'll have Ray come down later and help me fold these up. We'll label them that they are for our upper garden, our rows, and they're all the same size, but I just need to know that they're for my brassicas, and I'll have an understanding of which garden it goes with and my sizing. And then I'll just put them away until I need them again. Okay, just looking at this, I think I'll come and actually show you what I see a little bit up close. Okay, so this one obviously I already harvested. I just cut it straight off at the top. I didn't get any little shoots on this one, but these leaves, they actually are very tasty. So you can cut those up and use them as a stir fry. See, I've harvested all of these, done really well. This one never really made it. Now I come down to the end and you're going to see this big guy. Oh, you're looking beautiful. Oh, that's really nice. But let me see if I can get that into focus. Sorry. Okay, there we go. You can see that it's really seedy and not as tight. So that makes it a little bit more bitter, but I still think I caught it okay. But this guy could have probably been harvested maybe 2 days ago. And then the only other one in this row is this guy. And she too is looking pretty good. So a little bit more loose on the structure at the top, but still pretty. Okay, there's some things I wanted to actually show you as I pulled this up because I forgot we did this. And we did actually put a fabric down to control the weeds. It was amazing because if you walk along, and we haven't weeded for some time, there's a little weed right there. There's one right there. I really didn't have as much pressure and have to really deal with a lot of weeds, and I could really concentrate on the brassicas. The other thing is there are very few bugs. I also think that happened because of the netting. And so I've been very lucky there. You're going to see that we actually put in our plants about 12 inches, 2 feet apart. And our piping or irrigation also is just more of a tubing. And I'm trying to find a hole. Maybe it's on the other side, of course. Let's see. There she is. And so these guys are holed at every 12 inches, but it hits 2 rows pretty well. So we go ahead and run it from one end, loop it around at the bottom end, and come back up and finish up at the top. It's kind of cool. On this row, I actually did not harvest very many before I left. I left quite a few unharvested because they were very small. And look in just 1 week of how much that has bulked up. And unfortunately, I'm going to try to get in here a little bit closer. Do you see how it's seeded? That's what I'm talking about, like it's losing that tight structure. So we'll see how that tastes. But she still looks really beautiful. That one looks great. Harvested. Now here's the scenario. This guy is small, but we're going into 90 some odd degree days this whole week. And I'm probably going to go ahead and just pull it. Harvested. Another beauty. Another beauty. We're going to get some really good ones today. A little bit seedy. Oh, this is a very seedy one. Check that out. That is way past time. We should have pulled it. But those are things when you go on vacation that you sometimes lose. And so we got quite a few. I would say about maybe just in this grouping, about 4 that might look a little too far gone. But the rest I think we can salvage. Ooh, here's another really well documented one of over time. And I'm still going to taste it because I want to see how that comes out. So this is taking a lot longer than I thought it would. It's a lot of work and it's hot. So I've gotten 1 full bed cleared. I've harvested that whole second bed. And to be honest with you, I got a little disappointed just because there was some really beautiful broccoli this week that I was unable to harvest, which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. You got to just learn your vacation times. Now at the very end, I'm going to actually take you a little bit closer because that is the cabbage. And I haven't harvested any of the cabbage other than what has been in the greenhouse. And there's some big boys that are out there, and I'm kind of excited about that. And so I wanted to show you and share that piece. Let's go take a look at them a little bit closer. Okay, here we go. So here's my cabbage row. I mean, look at that. They're nice and solid. This guy's really small, but still solid inside. Same thing, solid. And then just kind of taking a look at all of the structure. I mean, that guy looks gorgeous. There is some damage on this one. So some really gorgeous cabbages. When I come down here, this must have been, I did some succession planting or they just didn't firm up, or I'm not sure. So they all are the same cabbage. These are tender sweets. Again, these look beautiful. So I'm not sure why some make it, some don't. It's part of the gardening that you keep learning, but they look gorgeous. And I think today I may just harvest all of this, put it in there, take care of the chickens, and then tomorrow I'll just take care of pulling out all the rest of this. This looks like a big old mess, but it's all shoved in there, unfortunately. So I'm gonna go take this up into the house, get it rinsed off and cooled down, and I'll come back and get the remainder of those cabbages on the left-hand side. So for the last couple weeks, as I've been harvesting this spring brassica grouping, I've been taking notes of how big the heads are and just trying to learn a little bit more of what we're getting for our harvest of what we plant to see if I can really get really dialed into how many we need for a year's worth. So I'm gonna go ahead and start to process these by just first cleaning them up, putting them aside and weighing them. And then I'll do the next step, and that's just washing them, blanching them, freezing them, and then packaging them. And so that will be the whole process. Probably will take me the rest of the evening. And so it's gonna be a long night to get all of this done. But when it's so fresh, that's when I love to do it. Get it right out of the garden, you're like, let's just get it done.
Wow, we did it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. What an abundant harvest we received. We ended up collecting 24 cabbages, and we did leave 10 in the field to see if they could grow a little bit more this week. If you enjoyed this video, please think of giving it a thumbs up and subscribe to follow along on our country living journey. Thanks so much.